Hey guys, it's Cindy. Today I'm going to be doing my wrap up for both the month of September and October. I haven't read that much overall. I've only finished 7 books or 6 books and a graphic novel in the last 2 months. So I thought I'd go ahead and just turn this wrap up into one video instead of doing 2 monthly wrap ups. So for the month of September I did Contemporary-a-thon, which was a week-long readathon, and that was the only reading that I did during September. Yes. So I did do a Contemporary-a-thon wrap up where I talked in detail about all the books that I read, or the 4 books that I read that week, and I'll just go ahead and link that down below because in that video I talk a lot about these books and how I felt. So I did read these 4 books. One of them I had already started before then, but I went ahead and counted it. That was City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. I absolutely love this book. It is about a girl named, I already forgot. Her name is Cass, and she had a near-death experience when she was a little bit younger. She's still young in this book. It's a middle grade novel. And basically, since this near-death experience, she has kind of been able to zone in and out of the spirit world. She calls it a veil, so she's been able to pull back the veil and be able to interact with different ghosts. And her best friend is actually a ghost, so that's really cool. He's actually I don't even know if I can say that, but anyways, he is her best friend, and they get into a whole bunch of mischief together. It's super nice, super atmospheric, very eerie, and I really enjoyed this. I love Victoria Schwab's writing, so it was no surprise, but I gave this one a 4 stars, I believe. I read a graphic novel called Bingo Love. I thought this was cute. It was really short. Didn't really delve into the hardships in the relationship. I think everything was too cookie cutter. And overall I gave this one a 2.5. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Then I read another book that really surprised me, and it was my first Colleen Hoover book. It was All Your Perfects. I've heard not so great things about Colleen Hoover, but this book was a hell of a lot darker, and it dealt with some issues that I just really wasn't expecting. So basically this book is dealing with a main character named Quinn, and Quinn meets a boy named Graham outside of her fiance's door, and the reason they meet is because both of their significant others are inside inside the apartment sleeping together. So this talks about not so much in that moment, but what happens after that moment 7 years later. So it flashes between that moment and then 7 years from that moment. So I really enjoyed having that flashbacks and being able to see the love that was made, and just how it all developed. But the overall plot of the story and the struggle I just was not expecting, and it was one that I really took to heart. There was just some moments in this where it was just really hard to read, and overall I just wasn't expecting it. And this book may not be everyone's cup of tea, but I really enjoyed it, and I want to read more of Colleen Hoover's works. I know she's problematic, but this book was really well done. Okay, and then the last book I read in the month of September was Summer of Salt by Katrina Leno. If you have not read this book, pick it up. It was so good. I gave this 5 stars easily, and it was super short. It is magical realism. It is about an island where this family of women all become magical by the age they're 18. They develop into their powers, and it is about 2 sisters. I believe they are twins, and yeah, they're twins, and one of the twins has been able to use her magic since she was little, and the other one is about to turn 18 in a couple of days and still hasn't seen her power at all. So this is very dark, very hard-hitting. It was not what I expected at all. I thought it was going to be a lot more fluffier. There are very big triggers for sexual assault, rape, and animal abuse. So it is very dark, and it's just very impactful. I just wasn't expecting this out of this book, but I'm really glad I read it. For the month of October, I read 3 books. The first one is one that I was very long overdue to read. Like, I cannot believe I'm just now reading this. And it is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I read it and I watched the movie. All I can say is this book is amazing. It deserved more than a 5. I cried. I enjoyed this story so much. I enjoyed the movie as well. But this story was very well done. Angie Thomas's writing is so easy to read. I cannot wait for her second book. If you have not picked this up, if it's collecting dust on your bookshelf, just pick it up. It's amazing. Then I picked up something a lot more fluffier, and it is Anything You Can Do by R.S. Gray. And this book was really cute. It is my first R.S. Gray book that I've read, and it is a hate to love romance. You guys know I love hate to love romances. It is about a guy and a girl that have known each other since they were basically born, and how they have always tried to one-up each other. So they both end up going to medical school, and then they end up moving back to their hometown in order to take over the practice of one of their local doctor's offices. And what they don't know is that they're going to have to work together. So good, very sexy, so fast. I read this like in one sitting basically. I do want to read more R.S. Gray. I heard she has really good books, and for what this was, just like a romantic comedy, I really liked this one. I think I ended up giving this one 4 stars. Then the last book that I read for the month of September, I actually buddy read with my cousin, and I went into this book thinking either I'm going to hate it or I'm going to love it, because that's all the reviews I've ever heard about this book, is that it's very polarizing basically. And I don't know really where I stand, but it is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. And okay, so this book is sold as like a murder breakfast club where 5 students are put in detention and then one of them dies, and it's all about figuring out which one of the other kids killed him. Okay, so overall, I'd give this book like a 2.5 or 3. And the only reason I would give it that high is because I liked the love in the book. And I don't even really feel like this was a book that needed a love story, but I liked that aspect of it. But I can't really talk about the issues that I had with it without completely spoiling the book. But overall, I think it was a little bit problematic as far as like the solution to who killed the main character, or not the main character, whoever killed Simon, because it says it right on the back, so it's not a plot twist or a spoiler. So I think it was a little bit problematic as to who killed him, and overall it had a lot of elements that I was just like, ugh. But it just didn't shock me, it didn't wow me, and I just didn't like it that much. So yeah, I'm happy I read it though. It kind of like opened my eyes, because I was like a little hesitant on reading thrillers and like mystery books. So right now I am kind of about that, because it's like really fast paced to read, even though it took me like 2 weeks to read it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please let me know what was your favorite book that you read for the month of September or October. I was going back, not August, October. I think my favorite book that I read in the last 2 months was The Hate You Give and Summer of Salt. Those two were my favorites. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!